All right. Well, we are fired up to get the guys back in the building. Had a nice turnout today. Again, just reminder, this is phase one. It's not a mandatory camp um, at all. It's a time when the players can meet with their coaches and then they lift weights. No coaches on the field, but they can go out and throw receivers and quarterbacks, and they can do punt returns and all that stuff. So, um, but it's again, it's not mandatory, and the turnout was great. So I appreciate that from our guys that they're all in that way. So, anyways, with that, time's yours.
We will go first to Pete Sweeney. Pete?
Thanks, Kelsey. I have a second question if possible. Coach, just curious as to how much realistically you expect Patrick to be doing when he can finally take the field in some capacity.
Well, you're saying when on that, Pete? Just
when and what do you anticipate he will be doing?
Yeah, so he goes to the meetings, he can lift, do all of that, rehab. That's the phase he's in right now. So we'll just see, kind of play it by ear, see where he's at, Pete. He's doing great, but we've just got to, you got to be smart with this thing.
And then with the draft later this week, opportunity to pick in the top 10, you guys have mentioned how you don't want to be here. Just given that fact that you don't want to be here, don't expect to be here, how much does that behoove you to maybe be open to some aggression, even with the top pick?
Yeah, we're here, so we have no choices. So we've embraced that, and you don't want to be here, but we've gotten past that phase, and we're in it. And so let's come out with a good football player wherever it might be. I mean, Brett has just exhausted every means here, and we'll continue to do that up through draft day and through the whole draft. But that's how he rolls, and he and his guys have scoured the country and have some great names up there. And the thought that we get a couple of these guys is exciting. And to have an opportunity to do it with a ninth pick, and that's a great thing too. And have a 29th pick, and second round pick and a third round pick. So I mean, there's a good number of picks we've got here.
We'll hear from Matt Derrick next. Matt?
Hey, Coach, a couple of questions for you. The first on the scheduling, looks like you've cut off a week of OTAs and four practices. It looks like some other teams have done that as well. What's kind of the thought process behind that?
Well, I saw that took place last year. Actually, they had kind of extended the OTAs by a week, just by pushing the clock back there. So the dates back or forward, however you want to look at it. But they were extended longer. So it takes away the period between training camp and the end of your OTAs. So teams were cutting it out a week. Our point here is that we've got a couple soccer matches going on here, and it's going to be a bit chaotic here with a number of people that are going to be involved with that, which is great. I mean, it's a great thing for the city. Not so great coming out of our parking lot, though. So I figure we cut the chaos there a little bit in half and get our guys out of the mix.
And I'm at this point in the season, how much of the offense is pretty much completely in, and how much of it are you waiting until after the draft to see if there's anybody that maybe you can work in earlier or things you want to tweak?
Yeah, so we have a pretty good idea of the guys that are here, and then any new addition we can always add to or take out. But we've got, we have a pretty good idea who the main guys are that are here. So we've had this extended off season, and we've been able to dive in there and really work with the plan for this coming season. We think we've got good direction in which we're going, and we'll see how it all formulates by the time we get it out of these OTAs and into camp, and then out of camp and into the season.
We'll go to Nick Jacobs next. Nick?
And Kelsey, I have a follow-up if I can, please. Andy, what does it mean to you during draft weekend when you get to make that call to a player and know that their dream is coming true?
Yeah, Nick, these kids have put so much into it. Their families have put so much into it, and to persevere through a little league up through junior high ball and high school football, college ball, and here they sit, one of 1% having a chance to do this thing, and um, I mean it's exciting. So to give them an opportunity to make a living at it uh, on a good football team and great organization, I think I mean it's awesome. It's an awesome experience. Yeah.
And since a lot of people don't get to be in the draft room, what's that been like for you over the years? And is there a specific memory that kind of sticks out to you during that time?
Yeah, it's exciting. Uh, there are things that happen like that you can't necessarily predict. And anytime you're in those type of situations, like a game, you're on spot and you don't ever let yourself relax a minute there. So you're on edge to make sure that you stay in tune with what's going on in the draft of the league. You've already done a ton of homework on the what ifs and what you think might happen or who might take what. And listen, Brett heads all that up. I'm a bit of a spectator there, so I get to watch him his mind churn and go through all these different scenarios, and he'll think out loud. I mean, it's all people in there that he has full trust in, and so it's awesome. All the phone calls that go on and maneuvering. It's uh, it's really a great experience. It's one you wish you could share with everybody. You can't do that, but you wish you could share with everybody.
We'll go over to Seren Petra next. Seren?
And I'll have a follow-up as well. Coach, first of all, I've always talked about how diverse the offense is and, you can do different things, but you guys did struggle to run the ball. I know you kind of commented about Kenneth Walker being able to, run out of shotgun or under center. You mentioned that back, I think, at the league meetings. But is it something, would you agree that you need to be more powerful in your run game, that you need to be more physical in the run game? And is that something, as you're putting the offense together now, that you really want to accomplish?
Yeah, Seren. I mean, you know how this thing goes, that you want to be able to throw as many things at a defense as you possibly can. Defenses are complicated in today's world. They create crazy matchups and coverages versus all these different formations that the offense has come up with for confusion's sake. To neutralize that, here you come back with the run game. And if you can run effectively, it kind of balances some things out there with these bizarre secondary looks that you're getting. So, I think that's important. It's positive if you can do that. We feel like we have the people to do it, not only in the backfield but also up front to do even better than what we did last year.
And then in the draft, looking at it, do you see any players? As I know, Brett does all the background and his staff does everything, but they like to bring you kind of, hey, here's the final menu, coach. What looks best? Do you see some receivers that look like they fit your type of offense and that could even perhaps be a number one wideout?
I'll tell you, there's a number of receivers that are good players. I think the key when you're there, you hear this every year, Saran. I mean, you know this, but you always hear take the best player available when you get to that point. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's an offensive lineman, a defensive lineman, a wide receiver. It doesn't matter. And people can try to predict who you're going to take, but you're going to get to that point. Brett's going to go, listen, all these hours we put in, let's get the best guy and let's roll with it. And will there be a wide receiver? I don't know that. I don't know if what's going to be there, but whatever it is, I know he's real disciplined with taking a good one.
Looks like we have a few more for you, Coach. We'll go first to Sam McDowell. Sam?
Hey, Andy, what does stand out about watching Brett and his team this time of year?
Yeah, Sam, I think the thing that you'd be amazed at is the hours that those guys put in. I joke them about it. They lock themselves in a cave for 16 straight days, and they all come out sick. If they've been in there breathing each other's air, and inevitably half of them come out with colds, but they're in there to grind out the tape, to look at every player, to maximize their knowledge of each player. And it's amazing. It's an amazing thing to watch each year, and they love it. So my hat goes off to them. It's quite a thing. And that's just the first phase of it. And then they come back and redo it again for a week, and it's something. And all of a sudden they formulate this board, and it's really freaky, Sam, how that board comes off the way they've set it up. There are a lot of variables that can take place during a draft, and they set this thing up, and I mean it's crazy how the players fall off of that thing, and to really what their likings were.
We'll hear next from Stacey Dales. Stacey?
Hey, Coach Reid, love your shirt. I think there's footballs on there.
There are footballs, Stacey. Doggone, here, I'll stretch it out here a little bit, so you can see.
It's
How are you doing?
fantastic.
Good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good to hear from you. Good to see you, Coach. Two quick ones for you. Brett was telling us that there isn't a day, maybe 45 minutes he spends with you. How do you impact the evaluation of these players? I don't know if there's an example like a Josh Simmons or just your influence on these prospects, because Brett told us how important it is for him.
Yeah, so Brett and his guys, they put together stacks of guys. They'll get players that like players. And Brett does a great job of having the coaches kind of look through those stacks and going, yeah, we kind of like this guy better than this guy. Even though they're that close, they help separate them to the liking of the offense, defense, or special teams. So, and then, I mean, he lets me get involved with that too. He'll give me some guys to do, and just as another resource, another voice in there. Inevitably, though, they've already got the work done. And Brett has a great eye for that, and so we're not off by very much ever. I normally agree with how he's seeing it. I mean, I've got a lot of trust in him on that.
And just quick follow-up. In today's game, Coach, what are the biggest traits that you look for in an offensive tackle specifically?
Well, he did say offensive tackle, didn't he? Is that who we're taking as an offensive tackle? Doggone, Stace, you got some inside information. I would tell you, I always look at the feet. I go and say, listen, give me somebody that can get out of their own way and get themselves in position where they can put themselves in the best position possible to block a guy, whether it's in the run game or the pass game. And then I work my way up from there with the core strength, the arm line, all those things. And it's the offensive line is kind of my baby, along with the defensive line. I like both the big guys. I think you can make you win games by making sure that group is strong.
We have two more left for you. We'll go first to Todd Lebo. Todd?
Hey, Coach. This is, I think, maybe the fifth year in a row you've had a different backup quarterback. I don't know if Justin's there right now or not, but what have you learned about him since you've acquired him, and how maybe much more important is the backup going to be without Patrick being able to do all the things he would normally do at this point of the year?
Yeah, so I appreciate Justin and the way he's gone about everything so far. He's been great with everything. I don't know him, as well as I will have known him once we get through a few weeks here, Todd, but I like from afar what I've seen. I like when I've met with him, what I've seen. I mentioned down at the owner meetings that, we didn't bring him in to be a gadget guy, although he can do every gadget there is, but we didn't bring him in to do that. We brought him in he's a legitimate quarterback, a starting quarterback in the National Football League, and we're lucky enough to have him here. So, and if that's the role that he plays early in the season, we have full confidence that he can do a great job with that. So far, I would tell you, Todd, that's how I look at it. I will get to know him better as we go forward. But I like what I've seen so far. I also had the heads up by Matt that when he had him at Chicago on how he's kind of wired, and that was all positive.
We'll close things out here with Vahe Gregorian. Go ahead, Vahe.
Hey, Andy, thanks for doing this. Um,
Bye-bye.
two things, if I could, Kelsey. Andy, I know it's maybe ancient history, but when Brett was your personal assistant, you were first getting to know him. I think he was a bit on the fence about whether he wanted to coach or get into this branch of the service. And I just wondered what it was or when it was that you saw that this was the way for him to gravitate.
Yeah, so at that time I was working more with the personnel side than I am now, and the coaching side. So I always gave that position an opportunity to go either direction, whatever they chose to do. Brett kind of leaned towards that side as his time went on with me, and he had a real knack. I mean, I'd give him guys to look at, and he'd come back, and I thought he was spot on. Now it's my opinion with his opinion, but it seemed like he was spot on. Then he went out and became a scout, and he started bringing people in, the Deshaun Jacksons, LaShawn McCoys, Cox, these guys, and he stood up on the table for these guys, and and so all of a sudden I'm going, wow, this guy. I mean, I saw it early, but not like that. I mean, it was, and then you come here, and then it's Pat Mahomes, and and the rest is kind of history. So, anyways, that he had an eye for it early. I could see that, and he had a passion to go along with it. And then he was accurate, most of all, with the guys that he really felt good about. They were like really good players.
And the second thing is, I know you're always pretty amped up this time of year and that coaching keeps you young, but it does seem like the last few times we've spoken with you, you've been pretty fired up. And I wonder if I'm reading that right. And if so, is it the nature of the challenge? Is that part of it? But it just seems like you're extra excited.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when I'm not excited by, hey, I'm getting out, right? I'm not going to do it anymore. So, I mean, I enjoy doing what I'm doing. Feel very honored and privileged to be able to do it. If I could get my hair to look like yours, it'd be aces, man. We'd be right on. But um, I, I enjoy what I'm doing, and the people I'm around here are good people. I love the new additions that we've added, whether it's coaching staff or with the new players. And now we get to bring in some more guys. Get to play in front of the best fans in the world in a great stadium, and so it's an honor that way.